Ready.
Welcome back to the Daily Carry Podcast, episode number 22 today. And we are excited to not only kind of pick up where we left off, but kind of launch another conversation today. I think we've actually talked about Colorado Bill 25-13-12 before on this podcast. But I guess some new elements or some new angles are kind of making some waves on media recently that have been catching the attention of people who live in Colorado. And so we wanted to dive a little bit more into that bill today, 25-13-12. If you want to go look up the bill and you know what we're talking about, you can read the bill yourself. I've read it, and it is pretty alarming.
It is.
Pretty alarming that we are right now living in a war on the First Amendment in our state of Colorado.
Yeah, I would highly encourage anybody that's sitting out there, it doesn't really matter where you're at, to go read this, because once it happens anywhere, it takes off. It just takes boundary probing to take flight. It's taken flight. Now we'll see what course and direction it goes for the rest of the country, but it's real here in Colorado. And so it starts, I think there's like 3 different acts that it falls underneath, but the Kelly Loving Act is one, and then the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act, which there's pieces of that can be very, very good. I mean, there should be no bullying. There should be no discrimination of going out and harming people simply because of the way they look. I don't have an issue with that. I think everybody should have the ability to live in this country and, quite frankly, be free and be themselves. The problem is what does themselves then become? And that's what this entire act and law is about, is you can be anything. And now everybody has to accept that anything. So we've gone from the realm of live and be free, go aspire to do great things, make a living, go to school, be whatever. You kind of really, back in the day, it used to be, go be whatever you want to be. Get after it. Go challenge life. And I think some people just went, be whatever you want to be. So I can be a dog. And I couldn't be, my name was Dave, but now I'm Rhonda. And I was a male and I want to be a female. And I can go do that now. And if you don't like the fact that I'm doing that, I can have you charged if you do not accept me when I walk into your school or your business, for example, if you go to buy something. And somebody says, how you doing this morning, ma'am? And I'm not a ma'am, I'm a they. They can file a complaint against your business if you do not acknowledge them. In that vein. Now, you can ask them to leave. You can go, well, time to go. You have a right. Colorado's had that law in the books forever. Any business can refuse service for any reason. It doesn't mean that people can't sue civilly, but you can refuse to serve somebody. Mm-hmm. And I don't know any other repercussion outside of that, but there's certainly ramifications. This thing's going to get boundary probed to death pretty quickly, I think. If I had to throw a blindfold on and throw a dart, I think I'd hit a bullseye on this one. I think we're going to see a lot of problems.
Well, yeah, I mean, for it to get broken down, I think that's really the reason that it's getting brought up. You saw something somebody had put out there about literally not going along with somebody's pronouns and being able to be criminally charged for that, put in jail just because you didn't go along with whatever people wanted their pronouns
this
to
was
be.
Just to clarify, this was on mainstream media. So what I saw actually was a story that was being reported on mainstream media. It's all over social media, and the people that are talking about it are people in Texas and California and Florida. I mean, these are people that are observing what's happening here and going, holy cow. So it wasn't some local guy saying something. This has hit the airwaves now. Yeah,
and I mean, all you have to do is go search the bill and look into it, watch a couple different videos that are out there. There's so much wrong with it on so many different angles, but this is a different perspective that we haven't really talked about on the podcast before. We talked about it as pertaining to in the schools, where if Billy decides to tell his teacher that he's Sally, then the teacher can go along with it, and not only go along with it, but the whole school can go along with it and never even have to tell the parents about it whatsoever. And now you've got an entire school that is affirming to kids that they are something that they're not without any acknowledgement, without any help or guidance from the parents. The school is doing that. And if mom or dad finds out and they don't like it, if they find out, say 6 months, a year down the road, whatever it might be, or if they find out a month down the road, oh, the school's been affirming my Billy as Sally, and that's going to stop. I'm putting a stop to that. Well, if the parent actually tries to intervene, then they can be charged.
I don't know. I would have to ask law enforcement how they're enforcing this, or even who's enforcing it. I don't want to speak. I'm staying in my lane on that part, but the assertion that I'm seeing online is that's the case. And I want to dig into the actual criminal element and then come back and talk about that at another time, because I can't speak intelligently on that. What I can say is there is a criminal element that is attached to it. And while I can't do it verbatim off the top of my head, you don't put a criminal chargeable offense on something unless you have an intent to follow through on that. So there's an actionable step that can be taken against, at the point you made, against the parents. I know that there's an element in there that if let's say we have two parents that are separated or going through a divorce. One lives out of state, one lives here. The kid that lives out of state wants to do some kind of gender affirming alteration to their body. So basically they want to cut off parts of their body, but they can't do it in the state they live in, and their parents are divorced. The other parent, Colorado now has passed part of this law, and I think this is under the Kelly Loving Act, if I've got it right, and if I don't, forgive me, but it's under one of the three acts, that Colorado will accept that kid to our state. They will allow them to have the procedures here, and if the other parent pushes back that didn't want it done, they can be charged criminally. That much I know for sure. Now we've gotten into the speech part of it. Now we've gotten into the identity part. So, again, somebody walks into a business, you're greeting them, you're being friendly. They don't like how you greeted them. They don't like what you called them. And then it's just off to the races. As an employer, it's a huge problem, because if you own a business, Dave comes into work and Dave says, "Hey, I'm going by Skip now." Cool. What's up, Skip? How you doing, man? Doing great. But if Skip comes in the next day and says, "Yeah, now I'm Sally." Oh, wait a second. Now you're an employer and you're trying to keep up, and let's say you got 5 people and all 5 of them are coming in. When does it stop? At what point does this person get, is it free carte blanche reign to be anything you want every day? And now you're not doing. I can just see the most frivolous ambulance chasing lawsuits coming out of this thing.
Oh, for sure.
It's just going to go hog wild, because there's no context to how this stuff works. It's just, if you don't do this, here's the ramification therein. So it's like boundary probing 101, off to the races as fast as we could possibly go. I mean, this thing will be not only, we'll get into the First Amendment part. It's an attack on the First Amendment in a big way, which I can't even fathom that we're living in that. Legally today, you can be charged for using the First Amendment, according to somebody on the liberal left, the wrong way, by just name calling, by saying, "Hello, good morning, ma'am. I'm a sir. Now I'm going to go file a complaint."
Yeah.
What? So when we pass this legislation, what entity does it go to? Who's investigating it? Who's authenticating it? Because I could see 100,000 complaints coming in tomorrow morning. Who do we have 100,000 investigators sitting in a magic black box room somewhere that you and I don't know about? Because I'm pretty sure law enforcement isn't going to enforce this.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to go. I guarantee you the civil courts are going to be all over this thing. There's going to be attorneys going to law, people going to become attorneys going to law school tomorrow that are going to read the dollar signs on the wall today that are not attorneys today. They're like, law degree, quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a living out of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, that seems to be probably where there's going to be a little bit of a bottleneck, at least for a little while, is definitely on the enforcement side, because here you have also people that are pushing these agendas that are very much opposed in big ways to law enforcement. And law enforcement right now, I know that, some areas there's been numbers that are dwindling. There's a lot of people that are
very much
getting out of the business, so to speak. And so the people that are in the business or going into the business, a lot of them probably don't have those same ideals of actually having any interest in charging anybody with any of that stuff, because they know that it's pretty loosely provable, pretty loosely. I mean, provable isn't even the right word. It's all based on hearsay. That's what it is.
I think it's going to come down to, so I mentioned to you a couple episodes ago, because you just hit the key point, how it's going to be them versus you or hearsay. I think what it's going to be is it's all going to be recorded. I think it's all going to be on a cell phone. So you watch these auditor, I don't know who these people are, the basement dwellers or something. I don't know what they are. They've all popped up out of nowhere in the last few months. They're like all over the internet, and they're guys running around with some pretty notable equipment. Some guys are on cell phones, but some guys are like, they got 2 or 3 dudes running around with cameras following cops.
Yeah.
Everywhere they go. Mm-hmm. Showing up in like I bet I watched 4 or 5 videos. There's some dude, I don't know his name, Gutterman, something. He's kind of like, I guess, the forefront of this thing. He started it. And what he does is, I've caught on to some of these videos. He says, well, I'm making travel videos with my son. And what he does is he goes and he stands in front of a business. And he points the camera at the business. And it's almost, I would, of the ones I've seen, I've probably seen about 40 now. Because he boundary probes in different directions. So he does 2 things specifically, though. He goes and stands in front of a private business, and he waits for somebody to come out and confront him on the sidewalk. And he tells them he's making a travel video. And then he gets into it with them, because immediately they're like, well, why are you just standing here filming my business? Like, customers, you're making customers uncomfortable. And he's like, well, I'm not. Nobody's told me they're uncomfortable. And just video after video after video after video. And he waits to bait somebody into something. Mm-hmm. And the people don't know the law, because they don't realize that you can just stand on a sidewalk and record. It's public space, which I guess the irony is lost on this gutter head guy, whatever his name is. He proved the First Amendment in the first video by filming. Like, anybody can go take a picture anywhere. It's when you cross the threshold into the business, and the debate is, because they have an open window and you're looking in, you're what we would call storefront shopping. Back in the day, you're walking down the sidewalk. Oh, look in there, it looks nice. Let's go in there. Well, now he's just standing outside filming people inside, and he'll stand there for hours, just staring at a business, until they eventually come out and they get into a conflict with them. Well, what these other guys are doing is they're following cops around, and they're watching every maneuver they're doing. But what they are doing is they're going right up onto the scene. So like when they pull somebody over in a traffic stop, they pull up behind them, and they immediately walk up behind the cop who's literally getting a driver's license and information. And the guy on film is going, don't hand it to him. And it's really creating a very dangerous scenario. And we can get into a lot of this stuff today on these specifics, because I've started digging into this more as of late. But this guy that I'm mentioning, he baits them in, he gets them to argue, and then he pepper sprays them if they approach him. And then he sues them. So this guy's just driving around. And every one of his videos that he's calling travel videos is like, Karen gets the sauce today, because he's pulling out the pepper spray. Or Derek gets owned. And now his new thing is he's going into the post offices to buy a single stamp. But he's carrying a camera in, and he's filming everybody. And people are like, I don't want to be on film, dude. Like, what are you doing? I'm just buying a stamp. Well, why do you have a camera? Why are you pointing this camera? Well, it's my right. It's my first. And he tells the world, he's educating the world in the First Amendment. Like, we get public space, and we get government stuff, like post office, government, sheriff's department's government. You can go walk over to the sheriff's department right now and walk in. You know what you can't do? You can't brush past security to go in with your camera and just go walk inside, do whatever you want to do. But these guys treat it like, well, the taxpayers are paying for this, so we can go do anything we want to do. It's just crazy. It's crazy what we've gotten into. And just everything is a boundary probe. Mm-hmm. So push far enough, get a law passed, House Bill 1312. It all starts from stuff like this. It just keeps, people just push and push and push and push. And now it's like, well, what do you do with it all? It's just crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Watching those videos last night blew me away. And this is from retiring from law enforcement, in all but 2 videos. So I watched 10 of them last night, and all but 2 videos, I would have arrested the guy for harassment. At a bare minimum, harassment. Under Colorado law, 189111, read the law. I mean, every single one of these guys walk right into the harassment trap with their cameras. Nobody's saying you can't film, But man, they boundary probe and they just get after these guys. And these cops are
Yeah.
just standing here taking it. And I'm like, holy cow, dude. Like, you'd be in jail so fast for harassment because they harass people. Like, the intent is to harass to get a response.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just a double-edged sword for sure because, I mean, those guys with the cameras, I've seen lots of those videos myself. And if you're going to go after the harassment claim, then that goes both ways.
It
You can
does.
be like, well, I'm here minding my own business, recording with my camera, and you guys actually came and harassed me, right?
Yeah.
So
That's what they're claiming.
exactly. So that's definitely something difficult to deal with. But I don't know, dude. I think that we're definitely living in times that's just absolutely crazy, where we've got people that are literally blowing up, making a living online, making videos like that. And there's this entire formula. I forget exactly who it's from and what it is, but it's something like irritate, agitate, problem solve, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just this pattern of publicity. And this is how you can blow things up quickly, is by irritating, agitating, and making the problem to where that's what really brings the attention, but then you bring the solution. So for a channel like that, it's like, okay, I'm irritating, agitating by way of just having a camera in people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm problem solving by showing them, oh, it is okay for me to have, not only okay, but I'm going to sue you and I'm going to win.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get paid for it.
Right.
That's crazy.
It is. And the reason, so I rabbit trailed that for a minute and I went over to the cop thing because you asked me, it's going to be, them versus the other person, or he said, they said. The point to the camera is, I think that's what you're going to see. So the auditors that are going out and doing this, they would never do this without a camera. The reason for the camera is so that they can go back and sue. So these people are going to walk into a shop and you're going to say, good morning, ma'am. Well, I'm a he, but they're going to be doing it with their phone the second they walk in. It's not like they're going to pull their phone out and say it again.
Yeah.
They're just going to walk in filming. And they're just going to wait for that moment. And that when that moment happens, they're going to go, aha. That's why I said in the beginning, I think you're only, if I see somebody, if I own a storefront and I'm selling widgets and 3 people walk in holding their phones, walking up to me, I don't know what goes through your mind, but the first thing that goes through my mind is, here we go. Something is about to happen. I don't know what that something is. And if I say, how you guys doing? We're not guys. Aha. I just look at them and go, okay, time to go.
Oh, how dumb.
And if they don't leave, then I can have them charged criminally for trespass.
Guys.
That
This sounds like an easy thing to just jump on the bandwagon. Why don't we just capitalize on this? We could just go to somebody's business with a video camera.
Just walk in and go,
We're not guys. What? That's just man.
But do you, so take that. We're laughing at it, but take that. What you just said is criminal.
Mm-hmm.
You said it out loud. You had the right to say it out loud. It undoubtedly falls underneath our Bill of Rights and your First Amendment. You literally the rights that our forefathers said, here's why we're doing this. And what you just said, according to Colorado legislation, written into law,
Yeah.
is now a crime.
It's
Let
crazy.
that sink in for a second. Because if you're listening out here and you don't think that's the case, dig. Because it's the case. And it's a big, big, big deal. It might be, because life passes us by so fast. We have so much going on. It might be one of these things that people go, I'll deal with it when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
No. What you need to do is you need to stop and you need to realize. So I use y'all all the time. I'm a Kentucky kid, grew up there when I was young. That was a common phrase. How y'all doing? I don't think that I've come across anybody yet that can counter y'all. I'm not a y'all.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, y'all kind of encompasses pretty much everything. I think I've hit every pronoun, gender, sex, color, socioeconomic status, what you drive. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
It's friendly, it's courteous, it's inclusive, and yet there will be somebody will find a way to get around y'all.
I mean, how about buddy? Buddies.
Not a buddy. What am I, an elf?
What's up, buddy? What's up, buddies? I mean, what about dude?
Dude.
dude, do that. I
Dude,
mean,
where's
I
my
don't
car?
know. I mean, at what point, in all seriousness, at what point, because the way that we're heading, there's just an infinite amount of possibilities. Because the way that the bill's written, it's not even just specific to pronouns. It's specific to whatever you want to be identified as, whatever your name is, whatever you're called, whatever you're referred to. It's beyond just pronouns.
That's correct.
It's whatever you are, whatever you want to be. People have to support that. It's like, to your point, think about the immediate problem that there is for employers and businesses. If this is a law, I am in work right now today as Jared. Tomorrow I go and tell my employer I actually want my name to be Spike.
Yeah.
They've invested in name tags. They've invested in business cards. And now legally, if they don't change it.
And all the paperwork.
Paperwork too.
Well, everything
That's
you've
true.
applied
Think
for.
about all the
Your
signatures.
W-2s, everything.
Right. I mean, so at the bare minimum, there's a legal process to actually change your name.
That is correct.
And that has been a thing for a long time.
Yeah.
You legally file papers, you change your name. For a lot of people when they get married, change their last name. That's a legal process. It's an official process. It's not just, hey, I'm married now, so my last name, everybody just call me this. This is my new last name.
Yeah.
You actually have to file paperwork. You have to legally change your name. And for us to have this bill in Colorado that's basically just saying we're going to boycott the legal process, and whatever you want to be called as, we're going to have this law that makes it to where you can be referred to whatever you want to be referred to, and people have to go along with it, or else they can be severely penalized.
Here's where I think the liberal left is cheering this bill in so many ways, because the First Amendment is the first thing they want to attack. Everybody in the conservative right thinks they're attacking the Second Amendment. They're really not. The First Amendment's what they're going after. The Second Amendment's the easy target because it's a widget you hold in your hand that protects the First Amendment. But it's the First Amendment they're going after. They want to control speech. They want to control everything you do and everywhere you move. I never used to believe that up until a few years ago. Started watching it much more closely. There's an indoctrination that has happened on that side of the aisle, politically speaking. Now, as human beings, forget voting for a second. There's also a psychological component and a mental health component that goes with this stuff. So you're the employer. He comes in. He's like, I want to be called Spike. I think people on the conservative right go, cool, he's got a nickname. Hey, Spike, come here.
Yeah.
Right? Totally cool. If he comes in and he goes, no, I want to be Spike. And if you don't, I'm going to charge you. I think everybody in the conservative right goes, what? Like, wait a second. So, but people on the left are like, yeah. The irony, I guess, is lost on them. So you have to call me what I want to be called and identify. And I've got this whole social media platform, and everybody knows me as this. Okay, genius. Well, here's the deal. In order to have your social media platform, you personally had to go on and fill out your platform. You had to, by requirement, meet YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever it is. You have to fill out those things that create your username to put your little avatar or your picture or whatever you can do. You still have to fill something out to be active, to be live in it, which means there was a requirement by a company that has policies put into place. And if you don't meet their guidelines, you don't get to play on their platform. Regardless of what you want to call yourself, you just don't get to do it. When you go to a sporting event, they do a security check. They don't ask you how you vote. They will put you through a metal detector to make sure you're not armed. And then you can go into the stadium after you bought your overpriced ticket and buy your overpriced beer. But there's still a process. But we've gotten into this whole thing of me, this entitlement. Brian Regan, the comedian, calls it the me monster. Me, no me. It's about me. And it's so funny to listen to it because it's a great skit, but it's so true at the same time because it was done like 8-10 years ago. And now it's become real. It's because everybody's the me monster now. I watched something the other day on a local platform here, Castle Rock platform, and it was super cool. I'd never seen it. It is not. I don't think it was open yet when it popped up. I think it was like the announcement was like tomorrow or next week or something. Centennial or Aurora, someplace up there, opened up a new gun range. Have you seen it? It's like 1,000-yard deal, multiple 100-yard deals, all the way down to like CQB stuff. It's really cool. It's big. It's outdoor, and they got some indoor coverage.
I haven't seen that.
Just popped up. And I was like, oh, sweet. I'll have to check that out. I'm a gun guy. I'd like to go check that out. First comment. this is stupid. It doesn't have a shotgun range. And I went, and immediately underneath that, because you got to go to the next comment now, right? Now my morbid curiosity has gotten
Now
the
you're
cat.
committed.
I'm in. And you hit the trail section of the comments, and it's like, okay, Karen, so you just found out this thing existed, and you're already angry that it doesn't have this thing to suit whatever it is. So now it's stupid. It's probably a $50 million range. I don't know who built it. I didn't dig into it any further. So I don't know if it's like city owned or privately owned. It just, here it is, it's coming. And the first thing is the me monster kicks in and goes, no, this is about me. I want a shotgun range on this thing that I don't own. And because they don't have it, I'm going to call them stupid. That's where we're at in society. There's no more couth. There's no more, I shouldn't say no more. No more is an all-inclusive statement. We are so broken when it comes to couth and common sense and the ability to just value and appreciate offerings. Your gym, amazing. Anybody that's ever walked in here is like, this is like really, really nice. It's clean. It's epic. It's big. It's family environment. Somebody will find a problem.
Oh, no doubt.
Somebody will find a problem. And you go, who am I doing this for? So then you start, for me, I don't speak for you. I start focusing then on people that really want to be here. And there's a whole crap ton of them, but they want to be here and they're invested and you're investing into them and you're growing. If you look for the negative, you're going to find the negative. But the dude the reason I mentioned the gun range and how this all ties together is we have trained a society to not value or appreciate anything anymore, including themselves, including their own identities, their own sexuality, their own existence. This is why you got a bunch of nimrods, which is an unused word anymore, running around with cameras, chasing cops around, filming them. Here's the byproduct of that. And I'm going to take 10 seconds and I'm going to turn it over to you and shut up because this stuff just amps me up. These are, and I'm going to call you what you are. You're stupid and you're dumb for doing it because you are walking up into something that you have no clue about with one objective. And that's you're trying to find a cop who's doing something that doesn't meet the criteria of how you interpret the Constitution or the First Amendment or the Second Amendment, whatever it is, whatever your game plan is, to catch that guy, to get it on film, to sue him. Here's the thing that you're not thinking of, and I guarantee you're not thinking of it because I've watched hundreds of these videos now, but I watched these cop videos specifically. You're going to get smoked, and it's not going to be by the cop. You're going to walk up on a scene because these scenes are uncontrolled. Traffic stops are uncontrolled. The guy, when you pull a car over, you have no idea what you're walking up to.
Yeah.
No idea. And now you got some idiot standing behind you with a camera, chasing you around, thinking, oh, I'm out in public, so I got this right to film you. Well, okay. Filming in the First Amendment and being an idiot and harassing are two entirely different things. Now all of a sudden, somebody leans out the window, shoots at the cop, misses the cop, hits this film auditor dude, and just smokes him. He's done. Pink missed him right there on the ground. Bam. Family comes back and goes, the cop didn't protect him. He allowed him on scene. That's going to be the first thing that's going to be said. You wait. I'll call it right now. Pick the date and the time that I just said it and write it down and put it in encase it. It'll happen. We're going to see, and it's just going to become litigious. It's going to become litigious. And I don't know what we do with it other than if I was the cop on the street, I'd be like, dude, you're going to jail for harassment. Like right now. Right now, period. Because there's freedom and then there's stepping in to harass.
Yeah.
And it's a safety thing.
Well, I think about it this way, okay? There are laws in place that protect hunters whenever hunters are hunting. If there is a Karen who gets in between a hunter trying to hunt, so let's say that I'm in the woods, right? I've got my bow.
Right.
I'm calling elk, and then all of a sudden there's this Karen with her camera comes and starts videoing me. I can call and have her criminally charged for interfering with me lawfully hunting.
That is correct.
That right there shows you, because that's a lot of people out there probably scratching their like, whoa, that's actually a thing. Yeah. Hunters that are lawfully in the pursuit of animals have rights and protections against people trying to interfere with their hunt. That is important because think about how many people out there, they don't even understand hunting. They don't even understand conservation.
Right.
They don't even understand that it actually benefits the environment to have management over the game, because there are numbers and there are populations that have to be managed. There is food that can be put on people's tables, yes, from the amazing result of a bountiful harvest and hunting.
Sure.
But beyond that, it manages populations, which is important for our ecosystems.
Like our wolf thing here?
We don't even need to talk about the wolves. That's just stupid. But regardless, I mean, so that's to say, hunting. The first thing that we have to say is whether you agree or not. The truth is that hunting is something that's been around for ages, and it's not something that's going away, hopefully ever. And that's because number one, hunting. If you've never done it before, go do it. If you've ever gone and eaten a cheeseburger from McDonald's, believe me, that's a whole lot more unethically sourced meat than if you go out in the woods and you get something yourself.
Right.
And the heightened sense of responsibility, and I've talked to so many guys about this. Whenever you're actually standing in the woods, whether you've got a rifle or you got a bow, whenever you're standing out there, which I have to say, for me, it's with a bow. That's how I hunt. I've only ever taken big game with a bow. As soon as you know that there is an animal out there with you, there is nothing like that rush, that adrenaline. And it's more than just adrenaline, because a lot of everybody's like, oh, it's just these guys are adrenaline junkies with the hunting. It's not just that. It's all this come down to this one moment. You know that this is my opportunity to take my shot and get what I'm out here to do and put meat on the table. It's like almost this primal instinct that kind of just kicks in. It's like, wow, you can feel the urgency here, and what people before all of this modernized agriculture and all of the ways that we now put food on the table in modern society, before all that, whenever we were literally, it was up to us to put food on the table. It's like that kicks in. It's like that responsibility. You feel it all in one moment. Wow. All right, I can't mess up. I got to make this count. And that's what it feels like every time, whether you're just hearing the animal call and you know that it's close, or as soon as you see it in front of you and you know it's go time.
So what you're telling me is you portray the story perfectly. You build it to a crescendo to where the hairs on my neck are going. Like, I could see Jared sitting out there, and it's just, he's one with this environment. He's like Fred Bear from Ted Nugent. You ever heard that song? I'll play it for you, dude. It's one with the animal. You're going to love it. But Jared's one with the animal. And Karen pops up in front of him and says, that's not a deer. That's and I identify as and now I'm not going to let you shoot this. And the thrill in the moment goes away. That right there, dude, is the perfect example of how dumb we've become. Because there are people running around right now in the woods spiking trees.
Yeah.
Spiking trees. Mm-hmm. Because they feel offended by fill in the blank. We've become, the point I took from your story is, well, it's multifold, but we've got a society that doesn't understand. So I think the greatest thing you said is people don't get it. They don't understand. They think you're out there and you're in this rush and you're this adrenaline junkie and it's a gun and it's a thing and it's just it's not. It's none of that. Dude, we walked around 40 acres the other day in undulation that dropped down, 7,500 feet?
Yeah.
Ups, downs, lefts,
Maybe
rights.
a tiny bit more than that.
Yeah, it could be. There's a couple valleys back there that were notable. Like, you got to traverse them.
Mm-hmm.
On a hunt, 95% of these people that we're talking about that are going out doing this boundary probing stuff would never be back there, would never understand it. Probably couldn't even make the terrain, quite frankly. And at the end of the day, their cause in their mind, their intentions, their whatever that's going to come from this House Bill 1312 here in Colorado, which is just going to, I still can't believe we're talking about it, because we're literally talking about the First Amendment going away for certain people, and the First Amendment being a control point for other people, to the point that you can have people criminally charged if they don't accept what? You're Dave and now you're Susan? Here's the thing for me. I'm going to be clear. because this had me so amped up. I was literally up till 3 a.m. last night, and I was here at 6:15. So that tells you how ready I was to talk about this. I'm sitting here watching this stuff last night, video after video after video, and I'm watching reaction videos. By the way, I'm not just watching videos of people just doing the stuff. I'm watching reactions. I don't care if you were. I don't care what culture you came from. I don't care what you look like. Everybody had the same reaction. It's like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's dangerous. And we are sitting. A year ago, we were sitting on the cusp of losing a portion of the First Amendment. Right now, we've lost it. You can be criminally charged in Colorado, and you just start checking off the states. It's coming, man. You think not in Texas, not in Florida. Okay. I moved to Colorado 25 years ago to move to the Wild West. Colorado was not blue 25 years ago. Boulder was blue. And nobody cared because Boulder's beautiful and it's nice and they have fun outdoor restaurants and they have great climbing and hiking and mountain biking. And it was Colorado. It's epic Colorado as far as scenery goes. And it's got a liberal precedent in the town and in the city and the college. Nobody cared. But when I moved here, it was a bunch of hippies. There's a bunch of dudes that in the 70s free love and smoked pot. And we have somehow transformed it. Even, dude, Snoop Dogg, the Snoopster, the dude I've never met.
Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Snoop Doggy Dogg. Did you see his thing yesterday? He took his daughter, his kid. Sorry, Snoop, never met you. Daughter, son, don't know. Took his kid. I'm going to mispronounce this. Took the child that his wife birthed.
Yeah. They're coming for you.
Here they come. Took him to a movie, and in the movie there was a mother lesbian. It's like a cartoon. And he's like, in his statement was, he comes out and makes like a public statement. He's like, I just wanted to go to a movie with my kid. I don't want to have to sit down and explain. Because his kid apparently during the movie went like, Dad, what does that mean? What did they just say? Like, it's a literal political statement, I guess, in this movie. I didn't know what the movie is. I got to look it up. But it just because it's Snoop Dogg, it made international news. It's just astonishing to me that we have come this far. That you have how old is he? He's got to be in his 60s, right?
Has to be.
Got to be. He's older than I am. 60-something-year-old black rapper, F-bomb, self-admitted Willie Nelson can outsmoke him in pot, and he's the greatest pot smoker in the world. I mean, and he's a funny dude, and he's found mainstream popularity, but he's still, I think he's just the dude that came from wherever he came from. He's still the same guy, and he's now sitting back going, what is happening? And I'm like, dude, that's your party. That's your party. Like that, all the stuff you've been doing all along, that comes from the left side of the aisle. It's not that I know a lot of people that listen to his music. I don't mean his music. I just mean how he votes. I mean, he came out and heavily supported the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party is now coming out and saying the liberals have lost their mind. Well, you guys are the same party. That's why people hate conservatives, because they associate us with white supremacists. I don't even know. I've never even met a white supremacist, but we get lumped into it. And I look at it and go, no, you have a party, and then you have people that come out of a party that identify as something. Everybody knows these people are whack jobs. I don't care how you vote. If you're a raging hardcore liberal left or a raging hardcore right extremist, you're nuts to me. That doesn't mean, but it comes from somewhere. And I don't think it's just political ideology, but it's definitely party driven. It's definitely party driven. This stuff that we're dealing with in Colorado right now, there's nobody I know on the conservative right that voted for this in any way, shape, or form. And now you have people on the left going, well, wait a second. You mean I too could be charged criminally? Well, I didn't vote for that. I'm like, well, what did you think was happening when this bill was introduced? Did you read the language? Oh, yeah, but I didn't think it applied to me. Oh, because you vote over here? No, it applies to everybody. That's what the First Amendment is for. And that's where the irony, I think, is lost in so many people. This is going to come back, and it's going to, as it always does, it's going to smack the people that thought it was a good idea. and then they're going to figure out a different way around it. But in the meantime, the rest of us it's going to be a pretty painful consequence here.
Well, I mean, it's going to be super interesting to see, like the first cases that are ever charged, like what happens, right? We do have that guy who was the baker. We talked about this in episodes past where there was the issue with refusing service or whatever to the LGBTQ couple.
Right.
And there was a couple lawsuits, it sounds like. The baker here in Colorado won. So it'll be very interesting to see how the first case goes whenever there's actually somebody who makes some kind of a claim against, oh, this person's discriminating because they got my pronoun wrong or they didn't say the name that I told them that I was. It'll be very interesting to see how that goes because, I mean, how's all that going to flesh out in court? It's anybody's guess as of right now, but there seems to be a lot of arguments that can be made against a lot of this legislation. And I don't think that there's been any cases, though. There's not been any cases that have been actually pursued, charged, tried.
Oh, no, this thing has only been out for like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is new.
Yeah, very new.
This was all over social media this weekend because it just took off. So,
it's passed. It's passed. But, I mean, for me, it's like kind of like this thing with the gun law that passed in Colorado. And, I mean, we've got a whole nother set of them that are supposed to be going into effect August 2026. But the gun law that passed years ago with the magazine capacity, it's almost like how many people have been charged with that?
No, to your point,
Zero.
None that I know
It
of.
passed, but even the law enforcement was like, we're not going to enforce this because you guys wrote this bill and it's just so dumb. So from now on, whoever it was, somebody came out in one of the local law enforcement agencies and said, from now on, every single magazine that we ever see, we consider that it's been manufactured before the date that this bill was passed.
Yeah.
It's like the bill was just written in a dumb way in anyways, but regardless, they weren't banning the magazine capacity. They were just banning any further sales in Colorado of magazine capacity greater than 15 rounds. They basically said everything else is grandfathered in. And so that's why the law enforcement was like, okay, from now on, every single magazine is grandfathered in, no matter what. And so pretty much any gun shop that you go to, like, they're going to be careful, but they'll sell it as magazine parts. And yeah, sure, they're disassembled or whatever, but you can still go get whatever magazine you want. You might have to put it together in your house, whatever, but you just get it as a parts kit. And how many cases has there ever been tried and anybody won from a magazine capacity ban? None. Not a single one in Colorado.
But
and that's been here for years.
It has. But you know who it impacts, though? It impacts the person trying to purchase something, though. So, like, you can go into a gun store and buy something, but, like, you can't go online and have it shipped here.
Yeah, that's true.
Try to go buy something. So, I know a guy that just goes to his buddy out of state, has his buddy buy it, and then just sends it to him.
Yeah,
I mean, there's ways around everything. It's just the fact that we've got these laws in place that you're now having to go, well, why? This is tough because you have laws on the books for a reason. Compliance to those laws have a penalty if you don't comply. Speeding, very simple, right?
Yeah.
Traffic ticket. We get it. We all get it. We understand it. If you're driving 76 and a 75, could you technically be written a ticket? Yeah. Who does that? Nobody. Why? Because it's a waste of the court's time.
Yeah, 5-year fine, 9-year mine, right?
Yeah.
So that's you heard that before?
Oh, of course, yeah. I've pulled over for speeding in my whole career, I'm sure 25 to 30 people. And there's probably cops out there going, what? Yeah, you'd have to be going like double the freeway speed to get me to stop you. Or, now I've pulled over hundreds of people in my career. I bet I've pulled over 50 that have been racing in traffic, 75, 80, and a 50, but like weaving and crossing over like the outside shoulder lanes and passing on the right on the takedown lanes and stuff like that. Dangerous driving, reckless driving. Yeah, I've ticketed those people. I wasn't a street cop very long, and I wasn't a traffic guy at all. But like my point to this is there's laws on the books, and people break them all the time. We just don't think about it because it's a routine. You get in your vehicle, you drive to work. You get in the fast lane, you're going 85, 87 down Highway 25. You don't think about it. You're just driving. You're in the flow of traffic. and all of a sudden blue lights are behind you. You're like, oh, come on, man. Why me? Well, I don't know. I don't know the why you part, but I know this. I know traffic flows 10, 15, 20 over the speed limit everywhere they go. Nobody thinks twice about it. Somebody walks into a business now and gets misgendered or misnamed or mispronounced. People are going to be thinking about that pretty quickly when criminal charges, to your point, happen or civil suits happen, and we see where this goes, which is an exceptional point because it really that's it. I mean, it's like if it gains no traction, then what's the point of the law? My argument in this is it's not even about the law. It's about the violation of the First Amendment. Like you're suppressing my freedom of speech and endorsing somebody else's ability to tell me how I'm going to talk to them.
Yeah.
That's my problem. The law is, look, the law is dumb. I could care less about the law. I don't think anybody's going to even enforce the law, but I think the civil suits are going to take off like wildfire.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me. And it's done in a way that was intentional. And now there's a penalty for it, either civilly or criminally, depending on the nature of the act that is violated and whatnot. But that thing I said earlier about the parents, we got like a 57 or 8% divorce rate in this country. And I read the other day that 6%, I don't know where they're getting these numbers, but it's popped up everywhere. 6% of kids in America now identify as transgender. Wow. So multiply that out times, you got 375 million people in this country. Over half of those people are divorced. And of that half, 6% of society in a kid format belongs to 50% of those people. If my math is correct. Point being, even if my math sucked, which it probably did, that's a massive number. And there's going to be people out there going through transition I've got this thing I want to go do. I've got this dysphoria thing going on. Mom won't let me do it because she's got love of a mother, but dad's all in. And dad lives in Colorado. So I'm going to go over to Colorado where Governor Polis said I could mutilate my body legally, signed it into law, and then he just stands out in grandstands in front of the cameras talking about Trump and ICE and the budget and just glosses right over the fact that we passed a law that kids can come to this state and mutilate their body. And oh, by the way, if you don't call them the right thing, now you could be criminally charged or the schools are going to be held to account. So why would I want to be a teacher? Why would I want to be a business owner? Why would I want to, I mean, just the ramifications of this stuff, waterfall effect. And oh, by the way, through all of this, we're going to violate your First Amendment rights. The Bill of Rights, the 10. We're going after the first one and we're going to control everything.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That drives me absolutely bonkers last night as I'm sitting down watching video after video of people that are just baiting people so they can go sue them. And you go, where does it end?
Yeah.
Where does it end? You said it earlier. I want to be Spike. Well, now I want to be Buff. Now I want to be Rock. So every day I got to call you something different as your employer. You're fired. You can't fire me. You see where this all heads? It just, I mean, I don't think I'm being like too weighty on this stuff. I really think that this is like mainstream right now going to happen and people are just going to test drive it. That's how we got dog bowls.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we got dog bowls and cat bowls in the high schools here in Douglas
Which
County.
they still don't admit.
Well, they can say whatever they want.
All the kids are like, oh yeah, no, they're in there.
Yeah, they may not be this year. They may have removed them after the backlash, but dude, it's just nuts. It could go on and on. I am going to share a story. You could look this up, and it's sad, and it's wrong on every level. But there was a story that came out this morning. A dad killed his daughter, his 18-year-old daughter, because the daughter, and if I read it correctly, the man's brother have just gone off the rails. Her name was Onyx. Her identity name is Onyx. And he's like, I couldn't take it anymore. For years, all I've been dealing with is this transitioning thing and this identity issues. My family is just like, why are you not? And I don't know how the guy votes. I don't know how he prays. I don't know anything about it. I couldn't even tell you his name. I just read the story. He's like, I snapped. I couldn't take it anymore. I mean, that's a byproduct of horrific issues going inside somebody's house. And the dude killed his daughter. Let that sink in. Nothing justifiable about it in any way, shape, or form. But people are being driven to a point. So take the homicide out of it. How many kids have transitioned, have committed suicide? How many parents have lost their children to dysphoria, to gender bending? That's what I call it, gender bending. It's not affirmation. You're taking something that is natural and you're trying to recreate what God gave you. We have got an epidemic on our hands, and now we've tied the First Amendment into it. That story blew me away when I saw it. I can't believe that guy literally killed his daughter.
Yeah.
So tragic.
Absolutely horrible.
It's unbelievable. But yet, here we are.
Man, well, I mean, there's already a level of weakness in society today that you add some of these issues that people are in no way, shape, or form equipped to deal with. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people snap and break. And I mean, it's definitely not just parents. It's also just the individuals themselves. I mean, just look at the suicide rates, the depression rates in these groups that are saying that they're trans, that are having those issues with gender affirming care, that are actually going down this rabbit trail of thinking it's okay to believe a lie, because that's what it is. That's why it has such a massive psychological toll on society, is because it's literally people saying, yeah, you can believe that. That's true, whenever it's a complete lie.
Yeah.
You're not. If you were born a female, then that's God's plan for your life. If you were born a male, that's God's plan
Jared,
for your life.
I don't believe in God, so therefore I can go do this thing, and the government says I can do it.
If you were born,
you
whether you believe in God or not, look at what everybody else defaults to, Mother Nature or whatever. You were born to be what you are.
Yeah.
You were born for a reason that way. And It wasn't for a whole bunch of weirdos in society to point and say, oh, have you ever noticed that you gravitate toward the color pink? Do you think that means something? I think that means that you're actually a girl. I think that actually means that you've got some of these feminine. Have you ever explored that? Have you ever looked into that more? That is just horrific. That's literally the kind of evil that we're dealing with. It's just, it's really straightforward and simple. It all tries to convolute itself. It tries to make itself be hidden in these laws and in this flowery language and act like it's all about acceptance and all this. No, it's not. You are literally, there is a psyop, no doubt, that is trying to destroy this country, not only this country, but the world from the inside out, trying to get us to what? Believe in lies. Believe that we don't have a purpose. Believe that if we do have a purpose, it's not in our actual purpose. It's not your purpose to be a man, even if you were born a biological man. It's actually, oh no, let's bend it a little bit and let's say, okay, what if you weren't supposed to be a man? Well, that's getting you to question the fabric of reality. That's getting you to question what is absolutely undeniable truth. And if there's not any truths in the world, then what is true? And then that makes everybody start to have psychological issues. It's a natural thing. It's bound to happen. If you don't have truths to ground yourself in, you're going to go wayward. You're going to have a psychological break. You have to have truth that grounds you. There has to be some things that are just set and they're not touchable. They're not questionable, because there's a lot of people out there with weak psyches. There's a lot of people out there that they don't have the strength that you and I have been able to find in God's word, in the truth. Yeah. There's a lot of people, to your point, they're like, I don't believe in God. Well, if you don't believe in God, I believe without a shadow of a doubt, you don't believe in God, you're already a weaker person. God is going to give you strength, and truth is going to give you strength. And when we're living in a world where there's lie after lie after lie being shoved down people's throats, and it's constantly trying to be this new normal that they're giving us, is you don't have to believe anything. You can be whatever you want. There's no truth. It's all whatever you want. Life and reality is whatever you want it to be. That's not the truth. And you're going to have these people that are going to be so severely impacted by these lies that, of course, we're going to see depression. We're going to see not only suicide, we're going to see homicide. Yeah. It's going to happen because people have no idea what's true. And it gets to a point where nothing's true. Nothing's true. Why? Because you're saying nothing is true. Nothing matters. You can be whatever you want. You hit a really good point too. I was watching these two guys. There's two black guys on a podcast. They were talking back and forth, and the one guy said, "If everything's racist, nothing's racist."
Like, we've got to stop labeling
That's good. I like that.
everything. He goes, because there's legitimate racism in this world, and there's legitimate racism in this country, and it goes in all directions. It's not a white on black thing or a black on white thing. It's an everybody thing. We just don't accept it that way. We've made it about those two cultures, then we make it about political talking points. But he says it's so stupid. If everything is racist, then nothing is racist. Well, if everything's a lie, then right, and just start. If you could apply that across the board to anything. And that's I thought it was a really powerful statement, and it was a spot on observation, because he's like, look, man, we got some real problems we're contending with right now. Oh, they were in Baltimore. He says, we got some real problems in Baltimore. I wish Trump would send the National Guard in here. He sent him into D.C. I think we're on day 13. There hasn't been a homicide in D.C. in 13 days. Dude, that's like breaking records that go back almost 100 years. It's insane right now. We have got to stop and look at it, and this is just me, at Scripture, and we have got to look at our hearts, and we have got to look at who we surround ourselves with, because show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Uneducated, unlearned, you're going to be wayward. I mean, these are just baseline things that most people should know, except for we don't. And we're just running it at light speed at them. And then we have politicians that go, you know what? We should make a law? Dave should be able to be Sally. That sounds like a great idea. Dude, the amount of energy and money and time that goes into that, tax dollars wasted.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And that's on the front end to get it to the law. And then on the back end, we're going to have court systems tied up from here to eternity. It's like, when does it end? And then when that thing doesn't work, then we're just off to the races to the next thing that we can jump on.
Yeah.
And then jump on. And then jump on. And it just goes, it just never stops. And because we're seeing it in real time, it's hard to get traction really with anything, which is why, in my opinion, this is just me. This is Micah's world. I'm living in my own dumb little world. This is why I think stupid videos get so much traction and so much enjoyment, because people just don't want to have to think about the things we're talking about. But the problem is the stuff we're talking about today, this is deadpan serious stuff. We've had some pretty deep topics on this conversation or on this show. This one today is the First Amendment. You can be criminally charged. So it's no wonder I'm sitting at home at night watching videos on stuff. Some of them amp me up. I just go over to stupid cat videos where they box each other, and I watch it for 5 minutes, and it just cracks me up, because cats are absolutely hilarious when they attack each other or when things scare them. And I go, oh. You know what I didn't get from the cat videos? Any growth. I got a little humor. I got a break from the day for a minute. Or those fail videos where you just know the dude's going to wipe out, but you watch it anyway because you want to see how bad he wipes out. Like, we just have this curiosity inside us. Mm-hmm. Take that same 5 minutes and sit down and read Ephesians.
Yeah.
And just see what it says about loving your wife. See what it says about taking care of people. You can go back to your dumb cat video later, and you can re-engage in life and all the stuff that's throwing. But right now, we were missing some serious structure. Mm-hmm. And,
no doubt.
And it says, and whether people believe it or not is a distant second to me, God's coming.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming, man. And you think what you want, call me what you want. I'm secure. I'm comfortable in my manhood. I'm perfectly okay. But I'm called to lead. I'm called to disciple. I'm called to share the word. And at the end of the day, I believe with every fiber in my being, marrow deep. And when he plants his foot on the ground, he said it. Nobody's going to see it coming. Well, right now, our pastor was talking this weekend. There's always been stages in history where everybody thought it was the worst. So, like, you go back to, like, the turn of, automobiles were created. And then all of a sudden we were in World War I. And then you fast forward to the crisis in the stock market crash. And then you go into World War II and then Vietnam. So on and so on. Everybody always like, oh, my gosh, here we go. The difference now is the distraction. The difference before was the focus. That's my take. Like, it would have been hard to be alive in 1941 on December 6th and then December 7th not go, oh my God, help us. Dear Lord, help us. What is happening? And 3 years later, you're going, man, this could be the end of everything.
Yeah.
Right? it's all perspective. But when we look back on it, well, it's a chunk of history, and now we've got a memorial for the Arizona, and it sits over there in underwater, and you can go walk out when you're in Hawaii and go look at it, and oh, this is so sad. No, it's a tragedy on every level, and it was an attack. But the things that should be drawn from it are, for me, are good men lost their lives. We went to war to protect this country, and now we got people in this country. I don't know who said it. It was in a movie. It's like, don't piss on me and then call it rain. Like, that's what's happening in this country right now. And in my opinion, that we got to, not only do I think we have a problem, I know we have a problem, but marrow deep, I think the answer is God's word. But I started with when he comes back and he puts his foot on the ground, he says nobody. That means you and me. That means somewhere in our heads and our bodies and our mind, we're going to be so distracted with everything that's happening, we're not going to see it. We believe it. We know it to be true, but that's when he's coming. That's prophet. I mean, like, that is right there. It's in the scripture. And I go, how distracted are we right now versus back then? Because everybody was focused on the stock market. Everybody was focused on World War I. Everybody was focused on Vietnam. Right now, what are we focused on? Nothing and everything.
Yeah, we're focused on apparently creating new ways to be able to sue people. That's what it seems like.
Dude, we're everywhere right now.
Yeah. Well, bringing it back, man, to the conversation for today, which really is just, talking about some issues that we definitely have in Colorado with laws that are continuing to be passed. I mean, it's concerning. As a business owner, it's concerning. As years have progressed, we've got a good, loyal base of customers at the gym, at the coffee shop. But if we narrow it down and we just focus in on the coffee shop for a second, and we really talk about the repercussions that could be here. The coffee shop, we've got some customers that come that are LGBTQ, and they come and they get their coffee. They walk out. They don't ever cause a scene. They've chose to come, and we'll serve them if they don't throw a fuss and they don't make a scene out of anything. But at the same time, we've got a other group of, for whatever reason, got targeted online at some point from some people in the LGBTQ community, just making comments on stuff and obviously agitating, irritating comments. And then get people reaching out, hey, will you guys let us host an LGBTQ event at your shop? Well, what do you think? What do you think? Of course not. We're a Christian faith-based business, and we're not going to do that. Now, are we going to refuse people and be nasty with people or be hateful to people? No, we're not going to. If somebody walks in the coffee shop to buy a coffee, they're going to get a coffee. But if somebody walks into the coffee shop to cause a problem, they're going to be refused service.
So the key word you just said is somebody, which doesn't, you didn't say look,
no,
how you vote, what color you are
somebody.
today. Somebody.
Because we've got friends. In all honesty, we've got friends in the LGBTQ community. My wife has friends, and you know my wife. My wife loves everybody. My wife treats everybody with kindness and with respect and with love. And that's what we do. It doesn't mean that at the end of the day, if we sat down and had a conversation, that we're going to agree with your views. And it doesn't mean you're going to agree with ours. But if you walk into the coffee shop, that's what it is. It's a coffee shop. If you're just trying to get a coffee, you're going to get served, and you're going to get served with some of the best coffee on the planet, if not the best coffee on the planet.
There you go.
Right? And the thing is whenever you've got these people that are just trying to irritate, agitate, provoke, and you're continuing to give them more and more ways to do that legally, it's a problem. Because the majority of people who come to the coffee shop, nobody ever starts a fuss. Nobody ever starts a problem. We've never had like a legitimate knockdown, drag out problem, right? We haven't been sued. But as you continue to give a voice and a platform to people who just want to have that problem, I mean, who 10 years ago, 15 years ago, who would have ever thought that there would literally be people in the world who would say, are you kidding me? I'm going to sue you because you just called me a her. I'm going to sue you because you just called me a he. Who would have ever even seen that coming?
You
That's
said
ridiculous.
10 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that. Honest to goodness, 2 years ago. I know that there was some talk about it, but I really did not see this thing being a mainstream thing. I thought it was literally going to be a flash in the pan, 15 minutes. You got some people that are just trumpeting their horn.
Yeah.
Dude, 6% estimated
Yeah.
of the population under 18 is identifying as trans. How many of those do you think are actually identifying because they're trans or whatever they want to be, or it's a popularity thing?
Yeah.
we're just following along to what somebody else is doing.
It's it's an opportunity to get publicity.
Of course
that's what it is. And then get money from a potential lawsuit, get attention. Because here's the thing. There's people who are, if this even gets into the right or the wrong, whatever you want to call it, if people even hear what I just said about the coffee shop and us saying, yeah, you think we're going to host an LGBTQ event, you know how many people would just get fuming at the fact that I said, no, we're not going to host a LGBTQ event at our coffee shop that is faith-based and that we've chosen to run in accordance with our values. We have the right and the freedom in the country to run the business how we want to run the business.
Right.
If you want to host an LGBTQ parade or party or whatever, you want to have a drag show, right? Because it only just starts at an LGBTQ event or whatever. Then you want to have a drag show. You want to do whatever you want to do. We are not okay with that. That's not in alignment with our values. That's not in alignment with the way that we have started and had. It's a part of our business plan, the way that we run our businesses. And we have a right to run our businesses the way that we want to. If you want that, go start your own coffee shop.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
That's the point. You think you do up until today, to where somebody walks into your business and you greet them as you would greet anybody, and they say no. They now can come after you thanks to Jared Polis.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. So when you say we can run it, you're right. You can, and you should, and you are.
Mm-hmm.
What the government of Colorado is telling you is no, you can't.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this episode today. And if people aren't 18 kinds of ticked off when they hear this, then something's wrong. Because
people need to start realizing that if we don't take actionable steps against this, then absolutely it's going to choke the life out of small businesses as we know them. It's going to choke the life out of the country, out of everything, out of society.
Yes. So let's flip the script for a second, because you made a really important.
Before you flip the script, let me finish my point.
I apologize.
Okay? Let me finish my point, because here we have a small business that's been built by the ground up by my wife and I.
Yep.
Okay. Same thing with the gym. Okay. Because I have to protect the culture that we have in the jiu-jitsu gym and everything that we're doing. The country that we're living in, the American dream, so to speak, right? There's now people that think that they can legitimately just come and overrun what we've built from the ground up because they want it. They want to impress. They want to get their claws around, and they think that they have an entitlement and a right to come and tell us how to run our business, and that we have to be able to incorporate and accept these things from society, these untruths from society, and they can just come and just will them onto our business regardless of whether they like it or not. That's not the way that it's supposed to work. You know, the way that it's supposed to work, you're supposed to be able to go and start the business that you want to start and run it the way that you want to run it. Leave our business alone. Don't come after our business because we actually stand for something. You can go run your own business, or you can go find a business that's in alignment with whatever you want, whatever you think is right, with whatever moral compass that you have, right? But our businesses, the whole point is this: is there's going to be think about the people we could have sitting in these two chairs. That if I say no, we're never going to have an LGBTQ event at the coffee shop. Think about the individuals we could fill in these seats that would just go off the rocker and just be upset with that statement. Whenever the reality is, okay, you want to have an LGBTQ event, you want to do those things, go find a business that's in alignment with that, or go start a business and build it from the ground up.
Absolutely.
The way that we've built these businesses from the ground up, with a purpose, in alignment with our values, right? And you just said, yeah, as of right now, the laws in Colorado, they're trying more and more to take away the ability for people like me and you to run our businesses that are in alignment with our values. Now, you already said it earlier, and I'll say it again. The way that we still have, in theory, protection against these is just by refusing service, right? But we could still, absolutely, you're right, somebody come in, record. They get it on video where we said, hello, ma'am. Oh, I'm not a ma'am. And then they try to charge us, right? Now, how much weight is that going to hold in court? It's until it gets to a trial and it's all the way through, nobody knows. But the point is that the law is there. The law is there, and it can absolutely cause problems that are just completely unnecessary for anybody. It's not even just conservative faith-based businesses. It can be anybody who this can cause a serious problem for, just because they wrote it into law to where people now have an even greater excuse, an even greater margin in which they can go and harass people, which is really what it is.
That's all it is. So flip the script. You just said it. You ended it right in your last 2 sentences. So we're talking about, and I want to be crystal clear when I say this, and I'm saying this directly to anybody that votes left, hard left, however you identify. This is for you. I would never walk into your shop and create a ruckus for my values. I would never do it. Why? Well, let's see. One, what am I shopping for? I don't know. Let's say you sell something I actually like and I walk into your shop. Let's say it doesn't have anything to do with your stance or your political, your identity. Let's just say you're selling a widget and I need that specific widget. And I walk in and I see all of your memorabilia up on the wall and all of the things you stand for. And I literally walk up to the counter and you go, before you say anything, I identify as a he, them, she, wit, but, and you have to address me that way or you can't buy anything from my shop. It's my right to not buy anything in your shop. I am perfectly okay with going, oh, okay, it's your shop. Just the same way that here's our decor and here's the things, the music we play, and here's what we stand for, and here's our beliefs in your coffee shop. I fundamentally, categorically support their ability and right to launch that business, make it legal with the state, pay their taxes, run their shop. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be in alignment with their values. I don't have to buy from their shop. And the one thing that I would absolutely, unequivocally never do is walk in and go, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? You got a rainbow flag on the wall and and I am going to.
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Why would I waste my time, my energy? I've got if I had a top 100 list, that would be never on the list.
Yeah.
Of anything that I would ever do in the history of my existence. Mm-hmm. And yet we got people that are waiting to go do it, just waiting to go do it. And so when I flip the script and I look at it, this goes in both directions because you're going to find somebody out there, there ain't no doubt in my mind, who's going to be they're going to have a Michael Douglas falling down moment. And they're going to be, you know what? I've been living on the other side of right, doing my level best my whole life. I'm sick and tired of getting run over. I'm paying my taxes. I'm watching the schools corrupt the kids, on and on and on and on and on. I got another story about that at school in just a second. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create an issue, and I'm going to walk in with my phone and create an issue on the other side. That law applies to that way too. It'll be interesting to the point you made earlier to see how far things actually go in if this actually favors a specific group or not a group, or if the law is inclusive and it actually favors everybody. It'll be interesting to go there. My 60-second story is this. 30-year friend, lesbian, was in our wedding, not lesbian at the time, came out later, teacher, sweet as the day is long. Never had one single incident in my whole time of friendship, in our marriage of knowing her, one single incident. Trump comes around in his first run. The stuff that came out of her mouth, I couldn't believe. The things that she was going after, I couldn't believe. And I went, okay, you got this Trump derangement syndrome that other people have. Well, it went way further than that. And it just went more and more and more hardcore to the left, and hard to the left. This year, she put out on social media, she says, well, I'm retiring this year. I can't take the school systems anymore. They've become too extreme. And I go, what? The very thing that you drifted over into, then you went full court at, you were full speed ahead for your agenda until it got too far for you. So the point to that is everybody's got a limit on something that they're going to put up with, right? And for her, it was, well, I'm all of these things, but I'm not this. So now I'm going to step back because these people have lost their minds. Well, that's how people in the middle look at a lot of different things, left or right politically. In my opinion, there are people that live in this world that would never venture into a conversation with somebody on the opposite side of the aisle because of something they stand on. And that's sad to me because the way you put it earlier, And the reason I mention her is the school systems have become so deranged that somebody on the hardcore liberal left is now retiring because they can't take it anymore. So the byproduct of the very thing that they created, they're now suffering from, and they can't put up with it because it becomes, you drown in it. It just hits you like waves.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, this was really good. It was a good cause. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, now it's heavy.
Yeah.
None of these things are ever a good idea. And so this House Bill 1312 is going to become a very bad thing 6 months, a year, 18 months from now. When it catches up with the very people that created it, it's going to impact them in a way that they didn't want it to impact. They wanted to impact the other side.
Yeah.
It's going to impact them, and they're going to go, oh, these people have lost their minds. This is stupid.
Yeah.
And we're going to be on to the next thing. And
No doubt.
that's our world right now.
Well, I mean, you said something that really made me think. I mean, these laws are clearly being drafted by the same people over and over and over again, and they're supposed to favor a certain group of people. And it's interesting because you're right. The majority of people, even if it is a two-way street, there's really only one group of people that's going to use these laws to their advantage. The other people are just why? There's other people. There's people on the other side of this that is like, I would never go after somebody's business.
Yeah.
I'll go find a business I support.
Right.
And that's the logical thing to do. That's the sane thing to do. Otherwise, you're literally just harassing people, causing a ruckus, trying to gain popularity or attention or whatever it might be. And that's just ridiculous. But I think about the gym, man, and you know this, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this on the podcast, but it probably really doesn't matter. I mean, the gym has kind of been under fire from somebody, and I don't know who. It's just anonymous that somebody keeps coming after the gym. There was 2 complaints filed with Dora about us having unsanctioned jiu-jitsu fights. Unsanctioned jiu-jitsu fights, right? 2 complaints in Dora anonymously. And then the night of the last JWI3, somebody calls the sheriff and says, there's illegal jiu-jitsu fights happening in Castle Rock right now that need to be shut down. 488 Crystal Valley Parkway. Now, whenever the state sent me the complaints and I read them, whoever this person is knows me. Yeah. They're saying my name. They're saying my address. They have lodged a formal complaint. You don't have to have. The funny thing is this. The person, whoever's filing this, they probably don't know. Maybe they do know, and maybe they're still just trying to cause whatever problem that they can. They filed this under my corner's license because I have a corner's license in Colorado because you have to have a license to corner professional athletes for boxing and MMA. I don't have any type of a license for jiu-jitsu because there isn't.
There isn't.
Jiu-jitsu is unregulated. And one of my buddies has fought, one of my friends that I've looked up since I was a kid and competed for his organization, he's fought tooth and nail to keep jiu-jitsu unregulated. Spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in court to make sure that it stays unregulated.
And why? Because there's an importance to this.
Because jiu-jitsu is not striking.
Yes.
It is not. It is way safer than somebody getting in a ring and punching each other in the face.
Yeah. And
boxing and mixed martial arts with the striking involved and with the inherent risk there and it being and also just how old the industry is just, it's important, right? It's important to have regulations behind, have testing, have medical staff and all procedures, right? But for jiu-jitsu, it's a lot different. And it's like wrestling. Have you ever heard of wrestling having some type of, no, it's and wrestling's in the Olympics. I mean, but jiu-jitsu is unregulated. You don't have to get anything sanctioned by the state, even at a professional level. There are some states, my friend told me, there are some states, not Colorado, but there are he literally listed off all the states when I was on the phone with them that require, all they require, and it's like $100 a year, and it's a professional wrestling license, as if you're like doing some kind of a wrestling show or whatever. And there's just a handful of states that require that, and that's it. Other than that, jiu-jitsu completely unregulated. But the whole point is this. There's somebody who clearly just wants that's just targeting going after the gym. As soon as I talk to my buddy who's been in the business for years, he's like, dude, I don't even know how many events. I've never in the state of Colorado gotten a single complaint. Yeah. He said there's somebody who's a competing gym to you or something in your area that's just trying to cause you problems. I was thinking, yeah, I guess that could definitely be it. That's what would make the most sense. The whole thing is why.
Yeah.
But the mentality, the whole reason I'm even bringing that up is because that's the mentality, right? It's these people who are going to try to hide behind these laws that are being put in front of them to be able to start a ruckus, right? But even some of these people who are starting this ruckus, it still has a little bit more courage and bravery than hiding behind the internet and anonymous complaints, trying to tank a competing business down or whatever it is, right? These other people with these laws that are being written, it's more and more reason for them to be able to just get behind this and feel almost like emboldened. It's like, oh, we got more laws now. Let's go start more ruckus. Let's get our cameras and go start recording at businesses and see who takes the bait. And it's just a trap. That's all it is. It's a trap that, and it's getting people more of an excuse to cause problems and not get along with each other. It's causing more division.
And it's impacted you on a personal level because somebody does something anonymously. And here's the hard part I have with your story, because you hit me up right away. First thing I thought, it's another gym. It's got to be. Here's the hard part in that for me. Number one, be a man.
No doubt.
Nut up and come down and go, hey, here's my problem. And share. Number one, I don't even know what your problem could be. And I'm not saying that in defense of you or defense of the gym. Like you have hundreds of people that have come to these events, and everybody walks out going, this is epic. It is fun. It is entertaining. It is real. It draws in families. It's a community feel at a showcased event of the highest level these guys go to. And some of the best athletes on the planet roll in this gym down there and give their heart out just to have fun in a night in a good match with somebody else. Like, how can that bother somebody? Especially if it is, and I don't want to get on the trail if it's another gym, because that sounds terrible, but it could be. And if it is, well, you're in the freaking industry. Like, what in the world are you talking about? You got multiple gyms coming down here on open mats. We just went and rolled with how many different dudes from different gyms?
Yeah.
At the top of the rock. I mean, these guys come out, they love this stuff. And so you got somebody trying to sideline something because they can. I'll shift this away from the gym. My wife had the exact same problem. This is why I was thrown off when you said DORA, because I thought that was for professional licenses. So my wife being a psychologist, she can have somebody call in an anonymous complaint and never know who it is. The state will come in and they can shut down her practice in an investigation. It's actually written into the law and the Bible. I've read it, and I'm like, it's amazing to me. Now, Jana's never had a complaint on anything in her life. It's just sad to me that we have these entities that should be there to protect both the client as well as the counselor.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if you're making an anonymous phone call and they come in and they investigate it, then my wife should have the ability to sue you for making a fraudulent claim. And yet you never can find out who these people, you don't even know. So you have to then go through this whole process. I mean, it's just everything's become so convoluted. And how does it become convoluted? Because we boundary probe, we create these things. And I just going right back to the beginning of all this stuff. When you start letting a foothold of evil in, it runs rampant. And whatever's happening here at the gym is not going to impact this gym. I can tell you that. It's just not going to. People love this place. Whoever is doing whatever they're doing, come down and knock on the door and come inside and have a conversation. Like,
I'll fight you.
That is not hard.
Next JWI 4. Let's go.
Maybe you're just not a good enough black belt. I don't know. It just drives me nuts when I think about it, because I go, this has done nothing but benefit everybody that's been involved.
Well,
and here's the last thing. The dudes from the other gym are the ones that love it the most.
I know, right?
They're coming in and going, dude, this is so cool, right? And you go, why? Just why? And I keep saying that, like, that's why I was up at 3 this morning going, why? Why do we have people out there doing this stuff? And it's so hard to not get emotional in it. But I come back to, we've said it several times in the episode, you got to go to Scripture. You got to go to the Word. You got to surround yourself with a good group of people. Show me your friends or show you your future. Because if you don't, you're going to be wayward and you're going to get caught up in this stuff and you're just going to run with it because everybody else is doing it. And that's what breaks my heart right now. And the worst part of it all, is now you can be potentially criminally charged under 1312 if you don't let your kid do this or identify as that, or if you're a business. I mean, this was written into law intentionally, with ramifications by design.
Yeah.
And people are like, you guys are crazy. You're just making this up. The heck I am.
Go look it up.
25,
13, 12, right? Is that right?
Ain't hard to read.
Did I say it right?
Yep.
That's a lot of numbers to keep track of.
There's a hyphen in the middle.
There is a hyphen in the middle. But, and just so you know, I mean, anybody listening, don't worry. The complaints are not a very big deal. Does it take a little bit of time, work on my end to respond to? Sure.
It's aggravating though.
Yeah, it's aggravating, and it's just dumb is what it is. But to your point, there's people out there that are absolutely always going to take advantage of the system, and that's why we've got internet warriors in the comments all the time, because they aren't courageous enough, man enough to say something to your face, but they'll get online. They'll say some hate online. They'll comment on your post. They'll say something negative. Oh, that's stupid. Doesn't even have a shotgun range. Or they'll get on TikTok on one of our videos and comment on us and all, whatever. But point is that, man.
That's why I don't read comments.
Yeah, it's probably not a great idea to read comments.
I do on other people's page. I haven't read any of ours. I just don't. I love what we're doing. There's authenticity in it. There's integrity in it. We're doing it for the right reasons, and we believe in what we're doing. If people don't like that, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to sit down and get caught up in the stuff. The reason I'll leave a comment on somebody else's thing, especially like those auditors, those guys are cowards, and they're dangerous, and they're going to get somebody hurt or killed or themselves.
Yeah.
And the cops out there, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I don't understand, man. You got to start enforcing that law. Harassment is a legitimate thing. So that's my rabbit trail in that. Just start hooking these guys up.
Yeah.
That'll end that little problem quickly.
The whole point I was making with the hunter protections and all that is because if we have protections as hunters, then how much more so should law enforcement be within their right? If somebody's got a video camera or whatever, they're getting in your face whenever you're on the job doing what you're supposed to be doing, and they're causing you problems, then they should be able to have a right to, at that point,
Anybody.
You're getting arrested. You're going to jail right along with this guy, whatever.
Anybody.
I
would not, for 10 seconds, I'm like, I don't care that you film. Just don't follow me around and get in my face. It's just dangerous. And that whole crime scene thing, these guys just walking up on these scenes and going, I know my rights. And it's like, dude, you have no idea what you're stepping into. You're just coming there with you think you have a right to film, but you're missing the context of everything that's happening.
Yeah.
That's pretty dangerous. And we have a lot of ignorant people, I hate to say it, out there that are not learned on this stuff. So therefore they just assume because I have this right. Well, those rights go both directions. It's a pretty dangerous precedent we're setting here in Colorado under this new law. To your point, we'll see where it goes in the court, but bro, I think it's bad juju's coming. I really do. I especially civilly. I know I said it earlier, but I really think this is going to be a legitimate problem civilly. Criminally, probably not, because I just don't see police and sheriffs enforcing it.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think that, you'd have to be a pretty spineless DA to take that case. And if you got a good investigator on your team, and this is one of these things that if I'm sitting back getting ready to prosecute somebody as a district attorney or an ADA, and I'm building a case, I'm going to look at their online profile and their history as well. And if I see this person out just making film one after another, baiting people, dude, you're getting charged like to the limit of the law because you got a history showcasing that kind of stuff needs to be taken into consideration. And I don't think people do that. I think, well, I got the right to do it. Well, everybody's got the right to film. You don't need to go out chasing people around with a camera to prove you've got a right on something that we all know is a right. What you're doing is harassing and literally and even in stalking people. The dude that got arrested, that was so funny. That Gutterhead dude, I can't think of his name. I'm calling him Gutterhead. I don't know his name. He got arrested on a school playground. Filming kids because it was a public school. I'm like, at what level did you think that was a good idea? Because there are actually guidelines of what you can do and not do on school property.
Yeah.
Policy and law. It's just, these people they're just whacked. And it just drives me nuts because they're getting all the traction. And it puts everybody on the defensive, and then it scares people because they don't know how to respond to it. And now you got a law that's passed saying, well, if you don't do this, and they all get equated, right? Like everything just gets mixed in. I've talked to people and they're like, I've never even heard of House Bill 1312. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, and then they come back to me and they will literally come up to me. I've had two people in the last week because I say, hey, this thing's getting ready to go live on the business side of things, and they go, oh my gosh, did you read it? And I went, yeah, we had this conversation. You were the one that told me you didn't know what it was. And they're like, this is terrifying. Like, yeah, it is. That's exactly the point to it. It is terrifying. We have stepped past critical point, and now we're into charging reality point.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll say my last final piece on this, and then I'll hand it over to you to close us out because we are getting close to wrapping up here. But I'll say that something that I have definitely been kind of ruminating on recently and really thinking of and giving a lot more weight and consideration to is as we have more and more laws like this and problems like this and concerns like this, to bring it back from the perspective of a business owner, I think that this is more of a reason than we've ever had before. Not to just feel like you have to cater to the masses, but I've heard it said many times before from different sources. This is not just from me. This is from other people. Sometimes it's not that you need more clients. Sometimes it's that you need better clients. Sometimes it's not that you need more customers. It's that you need better customers.
Yeah.
And I think that now, in all this confusion and turmoil and the risk that's involved, business owners out there that stand on values, that have built something that they know is bigger than themselves, that is not just for profit, but actually to serve your community, serve at the highest level. Be looking, and not only looking, be praying and be watchful. Build your business with the customers that support you, because that's what we need. That's who we want at the end of the day. At the gym, I want more members, but I want members that are going to come in here. They see what we're doing and they support what we're doing. They support me. They support what our mission is. They support that we're faith-based. And the same thing goes with the coffee shop. And anybody who's listening, no matter what you believe in, find businesses that you support and go and support those businesses, because what we're talking about on the if you really get down to the core of the issue, you're talking about people who are so insecure in these little niches that they've carved out as saying that they are something that they're not, and they're trying to force it on other people and get them to accept it. Well, here's the thing. You don't have to force it on somebody. Instead, you can go find a business who just, you support their business and then they'll support you.
Exactly.
Support their business. Find somebody that you support and then they'll support you. Don't just go find somebody who you already know doesn't support you and expect them to support you. Go find somebody who you can support and lift up and say, hey, dude, I love what you're doing. I love this business. I love everything it stands for. I support you. And then I promise you, if you go find that, then you're going to be met with love and support right back. It's a two-way street. It's mutual respect.
You said that so well. I'll hem up everything here. The one thing that we didn't talk about was Cracker Barrel.
We didn't talk about
And
Cracker Barrel. My wife is brokenhearted. I told her, we're not going back. Sorry.
It just, you sit down and you really just summed it up in that statement, though. It's like, but it's on the opposite side. You have somebody that comes in from the top down and changes the culture, right?
Yep.
And so your clientele go, what? Okay. What are you achieving? What are you trying to do? And you've lost $157 million now. Your stock has dropped 37%. You've fired everybody but the person that made the decision. I mean, it's mind-boggling. So there's got to be a gain somewhere in somebody's mind to do that. That's not a vacuum decision. That's not, hey, we're hiring this new gal and she's going to come in and take Cracker Barrel from, I don't know what their stock share was, but let's just say it was $10 a share. They're going to go from 10 to 15. They've been living at $10 for the last 20 years. We're going to go to 15. And we got all these investors going, sweet, you're kicking me up $5 on my share? Like that's a big gain on a $10 stock, right? And I go, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing if I'm an investor. But here's how we're going to do it. Like that decision's not, again, it's not made in a vacuum. You don't just go, let's do it. I mean, you got a marketing team, a department, there's a rollout. There's so much that goes into this stuff. You've got a company that it's not going to go belly up. They'll get rid of this gal. I don't know that they'll rebrand back. Maybe they'll do the Coke thing. Maybe they'll do the Bill Cosby Coke thing from the 80s. You know, hey, here's new Coke. Oh, and here's Coke Classic a month later. They might. I mean, you know, I'm not prophetic, but this is where the country is headed is the point. Target right now in huge trouble. There was 3 of them this week that all just got hammered for this whole thing. And I have to sit back and go, Target. So Target's a better one, and then I'll shut up. But Target is something where it's like Walmart. You just go and buy stuff. I mean, Cracker Barrel is pretty intentional. Like you got to want to go eat Southern country made dishes.
Yeah.
It's like going down to Rudy's and having barbecue, right? Like, you know what you're getting when you walk in. I didn't know until after I had it. Now I want to go back like every week. But you know what you're getting there. But at Target, it's like, it's choice, man. It's like they sell like 29,000 products. But your target audience is now going to be 1% of the populace? Like, I'm pretty sure if I'm a shareholder, I'm selling my stock. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. And yet, it's happening left and right.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. It's just in everything you turn to. The Minnesota Vikings. Do you see that?
I did not.
So the two-head, I think I've got this correct. And if I don't, somebody correct me online. Feel free to put in the comments that I'm not going to read.
I'll read them. Don't worry.
The two-head cheerleaders, you know what their names are?
No, I don't.
Dave and Steve.
Interesting.
I don't know what their names are, but they're dudes.
Huh.
They hired and put out, like, it is a social media frenzy right now. And these guys have like doubled down, and the Minnesota Vikings have doubled down. Like, yep. You just go, if you were the dude, do you want to be a cheerleader with a bunch of girls so bad that you're going to go battle an entire? Apparently so. Apparently that's a thing now. And the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders, already a story that's come out about the locker room. It's already come out. And you go, man, didn't see that coming. Didn't see that happening at all. Now, I don't know what happens to the ticket sales. I don't know. I can forecast in my mind what's going to happen. But this is, again, it's just, you would think, there's people out there that say football is the toughest sport on the planet. And I go, yeah, 16 whole games a year. That's a rough one. 5 preseason. You guys are killing it. Hockey is 15-game preseason, 82-game season with a potential of 32-game postseason. And the most violent sport on the planet when it comes to going 30 mile an hour with a stick. I say that to say this. If football is the second toughest sport on the planet, which it's not, it's still described as a tough sport, and you just brought in 2 gay males to represent the NFL. I can't imagine. I mean, as cheerleaders. Now, you want to bring in 2 gay males to be broadcasters or to be sideline or to be coaches or to be whatever, but cheerleaders? Like, what happened to just the respect of the field? It's just women. I mean, there's no dudes out playing football and go, hey, let's bring in a female linebacker and just watch this woman just get rocked every play. Like, who's going to go for this? Somebody would go for it, but I can't imagine the majority goes for it. And yet here we are. We are. So it's just boundary pro, and it's going everywhere. And I guess the reason I'm so impassioned on this episode, first episode, violation. First Amendment, violation here in Colorado. Second thing is you can be charged criminally. Third, your kids can be whatever they want. Schools don't have to tell you. Fourth, we can hide behind divorce proceedings and bring a kid in that where one state does not do gender bending care, we'll bring them to Colorado and do gender bending care for you here. Mutilate your child, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Where does it end? Well, I don't know, but I know everywhere I turn, it's there, and now it's in the NFL. And if you don't accept this, because these 2 guys, they'll end up going away, and then they'll sue, and they'll win. And it's another test drive. So, get in the Word, have your everyday carry, be able to stand in the face of evil if you have to. I don't, hopefully through your heart, spirituality, de-escalation, conversations, discipleship. But man, when it hits the fan, got to know where to stand.
Yep.
And
got to be ready.
It's a tough world. So I will, I'll close this out, I guess.
Sounds good.
It's been a day. All right. Father God, thank you. What a challenging chapter of life we're in right now. Everybody, I don't care who you are. Be with us, guide us, just give us wisdom, help us get into the Word. For folks that are not believers, dig into it, man. You'd be surprised what you find. And I just ask that anybody out there listening, if you're searching my hope and my heart and my prayer for you is that you dig into the Word and search through the Word on your own, not just through somebody else's lens. I ask that you'd watch over Jared and his wife, their businesses, whatever may be happening from the outside in, that we just get that thing nixed quick. And I ask that you just be with us this weekend as we all are going to go get away and just have an amazing time of friendship and fellowship and fun, and get out and just be families. And I'd ask that you just watch over us and keep us safe. In your son's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
All right. That was heavy.
Until next time. Next episode, we'll have some fun.